Good morning, everybody. I am Nancy Quinn, and I am here with web designer extraordinaire. I'll give you this morning, Teresa
Hey,
Schlupp. How are
thank
you
you,
this
Nancy.
morning?
I'm doing fabulous. So glad to be here, as always.
Excellent. So you guys know me. I'm a business coach, a body language trainer, and life coach to interior designers, and I have sponsors who support my clients and my Nancy's World with amazing education on a regular basis. So that's why we're here today with Teresa for her monthly broadcast, and we're going to talk today about what your website really says about you. I like to say behind your back.
That's what the blog post, but my blog post is this month, because I always have a blog post to go along with our lives, and that's exactly what it is. This is what it's saying about you behind your back.
Yes. So let's talk about that, because it's kind of like somebody's brand. When someone says, what's your brand is what people see behind your back, basically, when you're not there, what they're saying about you, what they're interpreting from what they're seeing. So what happens with a website?
So the website is the same thing. And a lot of times the website might be that first impression that somebody has with you. And even if it's not the first impression, it's an impression where they're coming to say, maybe this person has what I need. So it's still an important impression, and you want it to speak highly of you. But a lot of websites, because we create them and we think, yay, my website is fabulous, and then we move on with our world, they start falling apart after a little bit of time, and then they start whispering things that are just not that flattering about us, and we don't even realize it.
Yes.
So the first biggest one that I see all the time, and it's a tiny thing, but that is an outdated copyright year. Now, if you have a year, you're just a year behind, or maybe 2 years, you might be able to get away with it. But if you're more than 2 years behind on your copyright date, what your website is saying is this person is probably not in business anymore.
Really?
Most people, believe it or not, we don't go looking for that copyright date. But when you see a date that says 2021, you know it's not 2021, and it grabs our attention and it jumps out at us.
That's
So
true.
when you have a website that says 2021, it's not been updated, then seeds of doubt start getting planted. And people start wondering, instead of paying attention to your services, your offerings, your personality, and how you can make their world better, they're asking questions like, maybe they went out of business.
Well, you're talking about you're not talking about an old blog post, because recently
I'm talking about the copyright year in the footer.
In the footer, the copyright year in the footer. I don't know if I ever noticed that, but I think you nailed it, because I would notice it if it was a past year. It would come to my attention, like you're saying, and then I would start questioning.
Right. And 2024 might grab your attention, but you would be like, that's a piece of thing that people don't think to. You would excuse 2024. 2023, yes. Maybe.
Now I'm going to go check the footer on my website.
I'm pretty sure it's good.
Yeah, I know it's good. But anyway, that's funny.
It distracts people. And that's the key, is it distracts them from what you are sharing, the message you want them to take. And they start asking questions. Maybe they went out of business. Maybe they're too busy to focus on clients and just not taking care of things. Maybe they weren't that good in the first place. If they aren't taking care of their website, would they be neglecting me or other things? Like all these little seeds of doubt, and they may be fleeting moments, but it still plants a seed, and it chips away at that like, know, and trust factor that we're trying to build.
It's so true. I say this all the time in my Profit Insider Academy clients. Anything that you're not doing well that is visible to the public, they are going to assume possibly that you don't run your business well and efficiently and consistently, because what they're seeing in your website or your social media or your past new things could really be a problem for you. So absolutely. I love this topic. Let's keep going. Okay, so your footer copyright should be up to date with the years.
And it's an easy thing. A lot of web design or website builders now, you can put in a little snippet of short code or something like that. So it's automatic. So it just automatically updates and you don't have to worry about it. But if you don't know how to do that, or you don't have that code and your website builder doesn't do it, then just set a reminder for January 3rd, whatever. It doesn't have to be right away on January 1st, because you're probably sleeping in and enjoying the holiday. But early in January, set a reminder on your calendar every year, go update my copyright date. Takes you a
Perfect.
few minutes. You can do it over coffee, and then you're up to date, and people aren't going to be having those doubts and questions.
Like it.
So the second one is broken links and call to action buttons. And that is a big one, honestly, that I run into way more than I would like to admit. And I even find them on my own site. It happens. We think we've said it, it didn't click, whatever. It's always good to test. But when we have those broken call to action buttons, especially, what it says about us is this person isn't on top of things. That's what it's saying about us.
Right. The same thing. If you're not, it's like having a typo on your website that's never been caught. If someone looks at it, they may make a conclusion about you and the way you run your business. If you have buttons that aren't working, you don't have downloads that don't work, a calendar link that's broken, right? All these things. So how often should somebody check that? What would be your recommendation?
So my first recommendation is, if you can do, this is what I do with all of my websites, is I actually hire a non-technical person. They don't do anything technology related. I mean, they use a computer at work, but they don't build websites. They're not a graphic designer. They don't do anything. I hire them to test every single one of my websites. So before you launch your website, ask a buddy who you trust, your business bestie, somebody you know who will do this. Say, would you look through my website and would you actually click on the links, the buttons, and make sure things are working for me? Get somebody else to do that for you would be the first thing I'd recommend. But after that, things are going to happen. Things are going to change. Maybe an update crashed your menu and you don't realize the menu is working, or, I mean, technology breaks. It happens. You can't.
That happened to us the other day. You helped us fix it, right? We had some weird coding on our website. Suddenly we're like, where did that come from? We didn't do that. It was a plugin update that we didn't know happened, and we didn't
it triggered another update that had to be done manually that nobody knew was going to happen. And technology happens. So what I recommend is 3 or 4 times a year, grab your laptop, go to a coffee shop away from your office, and just use your website as a visitor. And it's key to get out of your office, because when you're in your office, you are in work mode and you are thinking about work and you are thinking about the updates you want to make and this you need to do and that you need to do. When you go to a coffee shop, you can put yourself a little bit more in a mindset of browsing your website and finding those things, but double checking everything. You can also use something like a dead link checker and just run a scan on your website, and it will show up all the broken links that you have on your website. And that I definitely recommend doing, even if you check buttons and things like that. If you have a big blog like you and I do, those links, they're going to expire. I have links to reference things I reference that just no longer exist.
Yes.
And that's going to happen. So those dead link checkers are going to help you find those kind of things.
Is there one you recommend? Are they free? Are they expensive? Like, how are those dead?
They're free. Broken link checker, I think, is one. In my blog, I did link to dead link checker. That's the name. And it brings up and it shows you what the link is and where it goes and lets you test it. That one can give some false positives sometimes. So you do want to double check and take it as a grain of salt, but it does work.
Cool.
And if you do it a few times a year, it's a cup of coffee fix on your website.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds to me like I like to break things down for the business owners, the interior designers, what they should be doing monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And this to me is a quarterly. And we have Sally on my staff. You know, Sally, she's extremely detailed oriented, and she goes through all our stuff frontwards and backwards, and she catches everything that we don't catch.
Yeah, she's amazing. She is so incredible. And that's powerful too. But yeah, especially if you're a solo small business owner doing this on your own, these things, they set a bad impression really fast, and it can hurt you when it comes to people reaching out and connecting with you. So having that quarterly date where you just take yourself, go get an oat milk latte and a scone and do these kind of things. You deserve the treat because you've worked hard and you're going to be taking care of some important business.
And the corrections you're making to your website or anything else you're reviewing once a quarter to make sure everything's right is going to benefit you, because the things are going to work, and that's going to stop clients from bouncing off your website if they were.
It's an investment. It's not this coffee break is not I'm blowing business off. It's an investment in your time and your business and your success. And it's a way to do it to get out of the mindset of all the things you need to do and to be focused on taking care of your customers in this point.
Absolutely.
Other thing I would say is a pro tip, and this is becoming a lot more easier with new website builders, is create a value-driven 404 page. Instead of a 404 page that just says you've come to a bad page, go in there and create and design a page. And there's an example from one of my recent websites I just launched where it says, lost, let me help you find what you need. There's a search bar and there's links to the key pages for her website.
Interesting.
So
a 404 is an error page, basically, but you're saying
page.
You can customize your error page. So if something ever goes wrong on your website, you can kind of say, hey, something's going wrong, but here's the other places you can go.
Yeah, absolutely. So make it a value driven that is on brand and have some fun with it. Like my 404 error page in the new website I'm building is going to be a little bit more on the silly humor side because that's just more of who I am, but have some fun with it and just Google 404 error page examples if you want an idea of how all the things you can do. But it's a fun way to admit I'm not perfect, but let me get you where you are and redirect you where you are. And that little tip, that little piece is going to show people that you acknowledge you're not perfect, but you still really care and you want to help them find what they need. And that in itself is a real powerful tool.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Anything else?
So number 3, and this one I just stumbled upon myself, is having an inconsistent voice from page to page. So a lot of times we go to update our website and we'll update our services pages, then we'll move on because we need to make some changes to our services. Yeah. Well, what I discovered myself is our voice changes over the years. As we grow as business owners and as people and individuals, our voice changes. And so when you've got a homepage that's warm and friendly and a service page that reads like a corporate memo, there's a disconnect. And what that is saying is this person sure about who they are and what they're doing? Like it creates that pause, and it may be fleeting. It may be just a moment, but any tiny little seed of doubt that gets planted in the brain of our visitors gives them a moment to pause and say, maybe not right now. Yes. Maybe I'll come back later. And we don't want to give them that moment to pause. We want them to feel so good, so warm, so cozy, so welcomed that it's just natural for them to click through our website and into our discovery call.
Yeah. Anytime someone will get slightly confused, even for 2 or 3 seconds, they're going to be like, you know what? I can't figure this out. And they bounce.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And even if they like what they've heard, they will say, I'll come back later. They probably won't come back later.
Right.
They're going to have a really big nudge to get them back in the door. So you want to make sure your voice is consistent and reading through that. And that takes reading through your website, especially anytime you do major changes. You want to sit down and read through it. And you don't have to read through the whole website in a day. Break this up, but you do want to do it in a matter of time. This, I wouldn't say quarterly. I would say do a good read through once a year.
Yes.
But schedule out those pages over a week or 2 so that you're doing it together and you're in the same mindset, because otherwise you've got that inconsistent voice. You've got that thing that just doesn't quite sound like you. And people are going to start picking up on that.
It even changes from day to day depending on your mood, right? So it really is something where you want to be inspired to do it and finish it in one day if you can. This way you're consistent in your mood, or schedule it out where, in the mornings, every Monday, I'm going to do this for a couple of weeks until I clean this all up.
Absolutely. And you want to stay consistent with that, because then it's going to show confidence. It's going to show who you are. It's going to show that you're clear on what you offer and what you do, and that you are the real person showing up. So that's kind of the thing with that inconsistent voice. And again, this happens to everybody. Like before we hopped on, I was telling you about how, as I'm creating my own new website, I had some content from 2019 and my copywriter was like, I don't even know who this person is. This is
it's funny, right? I know we're redoing the website too. And it's like, wow, what we had on it. Like it's just, it's like an artist that's, as your career progresses, you change what you're saying, what you're looking, how you're saying it, what you're looking to attract, what you're putting out into the world. So it's normal to redo your website every, I'd say 2 to 5 years the most, in order to keep up with your evolution as a business owner.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it was so funny because when she said that, I was like, wait a minute, that's me. And then I went and read it and I was like, oh,
Isn't that funny?
I'm a whole different, like, I don't even know 2019 Teresa anymore. I don't know who she was. Like,
I know.
I
I
wouldn't
know.
recognize it. So
It's a
that's
good
the thing
thing.
with that inconsistent voice is we do want to give some love to the messaging. And a bonus tip I would say that will really help you, and this is going to feel silly, but read it out loud. Find a place. This is where you want to find your coziest spot in your house on your favorite chair or something. Read it out loud
And
because
listen to yourself while you're reading it.
you're going to pick
Right?
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to pick up those inconsistencies so much more quickly than if you're just reading and scanning the pages.
Right. Read it out loud. Listen to the story, your own voice, what you're saying. Does it make sense? Is this what you would want your ideal client reading about your business, about your company?
Mhm.
Does it read smooth? And we always, or one of the things that I do and I ask my staff to do sometimes is read, once you do that, read the words backwards, because that's how you find typos really quickly. If you're reading the words backwards, you're not looking for a comprehension of this whole paragraph like you did when you read it forwards, but it's quick, easy to find spelling errors if you do that.
Yep. Or grammar errors that just,
Yeah, pop out
absolutely.
at you.
Reading it
Yeah.
backwards is the
Yep.
key.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So number 4 is those old blog posts. And I'm not talking about if you've got an active blog and you've got, like, I have blog posts from 2017 on my website now. There's nothing wrong with that. I also have blog posts from 2025. I have an active blog. But if you did, so this was a big trend when I first launched my business was you have to have a blog. It's not a negotiable rule. You must have a blog. Start with 3. You can add to it later. And a lot of business owners did that. They had their 3 generic blog posts to get them started and then never did them later because they don't want to blog. They don't have time to blog. It's not the way they want to market their business. And it just didn't feel good.
Right.
So you've got these abandoned old blog posts out there that are screaming, I don't know if this person really is that experienced or knowledgeable, or they don't have a lot to share. So much more doubt pops into the minds if you have an abandoned blog than if you had no blog at all.
100%. I just yesterday, I was meeting with somebody who got on my calendar for a one-off, and I happened to go to their website, which I don't always do for my one-offs, phone calls, business strategy sessions, but I went and I'm like, oh no, the last blog is from 2021, I think it was. She's like, yeah, I didn't want to continue it. I'm like, well, then take it down or fill it up or change the dates or refresh them, do something.
There's so many things you can do. You can take the dates off for one thing, because just because that content is 5 years old doesn't mean it's no longer valid.
Right. If it's still
Okay.
valid, you can keep it out there. Yes.
Absolutely. So take the dates off the blog so it doesn't scream this is old and abandoned.
Yes.
Refresh the blog. I was doing in my own moving over. There's some older blogs that I wanted to keep them where they were at and on the date they were at, but I did refresh the content and I made a note at the top of the page that the blog had been updated
on a certain date. Yes.
So
yes.
You could do that.
And Google likes that too, because it shows you're active on your website.
It shows you're active on your website. You could take that topic, leave the blog as it is, take the topic and write it from a new perspective and rewrite about that topic. I think I have about 80 topics on my blogs and I've all been written about 3 times because I just keep coming from a new perspective because the world has changed. I have new ideas. I have new perspectives and I have something new to share. So those are ways you can, if you really have to keep it. But the one thing I want to point out here is a blog is only helpful if it's valuable content. If it is just generic stuff, it's not helping you. It's hurting you more than anything. And take it down.
Yes. Only put out there what you're looking to attract.
Yep. Delete the blog, redirect it to your homepage so that if any links are still lingering out there, people still get to a good page, and move on with your life with happiness and joy because you
happiness and joy. That's the goal, right? All right. Do the quick recap. 4 suggestions on.
One more.
Oh, 5. Sorry. Go ahead.
One more. Yes. And this one isn't as big of a deal, but it is something I want people to consider. And that is testimonials on there.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot of ways to establish your experience, your knowledge, your expertise, all of that. But testimonials is one of those ways. If you have a really fabulous, extensive portfolio and stuff like that, you're probably doing okay. But testimonials are social proof from the words of your customers that say, she knows what she's doing. And it just makes things a lot more easier for people to say, that's exactly what I want. So you really want to get testimonials and sprinkle them into your website like glitter, I say, because they are the things that are going to sparkle and stand out and help you shine.
Yes, especially interior designers and recent ones, as recent as you can put out there, or don't put the dates, like you say. You don't have to put the date for a testimonial, but again, Google's reading if you're updating your website on a regular basis. So everything you gave as tips is not just what your website is saying, it's also helping your SEO.
It's helping your SEO. It's helping you renew your focus on your business as well. There's a lot of benefits to giving love and attention to your website that are outside of just the impression that it makes. It helps you renew what your focus is, what you love about your business, what you want to build, what you're creating. There's so many benefits. It boosts your confidence when you're excited about a website and you want to share it and show it to the world. It helps your confidence. I mean, it's endless of the
so
value
many things. So many things. All right. So tell everyone how to find you when they want a fabulous website.
So you can find me at caffeinecreative.io. Conversations are always free to begin with. So hop on my calendar for a 20-minute call if you want to chat about branding or websites. And I'd love to talk to you.
It's amazing. You give so much free information to people. Your website has a ton of free content. So for someone who wants to DIY it, do it yourself or get it to a certain level until you have enough money to hire someone like Teresa to do it for you, you can do that also from Teresa's website. She teaches you how to do whatever you are capable of doing yourself if you want to. But then if you get overwhelmed or you have your own clients that you want to work with and have her do what she does best, you can have her do it for you. So it's amazing what you do for people.
Thank you.
I have a lot of happy clients who I've referred to you. So I'm always appreciative of that. So, all right, everyone, go have a great Wednesday. Teresa, you too. And I will see you next time.
All right. See you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.